such an asshole.
I always get a kick, because if you're white, it was just cakewalk for all white people. I get it. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that picture of all those kids that had to work in the coal mines. I'm going to use that one. And then you like, oh yeah. No, we were all just living off the estate. We all lived in the Hamptons. We all got jet skis back in the 80s. I remember collecting cans back when I was a little kid, going dumpster diving. Good times. I'm not kidding. There were good times working as a kid. I didn't enjoy shoveling snow as much because I always wanted to go sledding. I don't know what it was about collecting cans. Maybe because I probably couldn't believe that in Michigan, somebody would pay you a dime for a can. Which, by the way, they haven't changed. It's still a dime, almost 30 years later. No, almost 40 years later. 40 years later. I mean, what? Now effectively, the purchasing power is 2 cents. We got a question. If you got questions, Cappy's got answers as long as you got money. And I'm just going to warn you, this was a request where I had to charge a lot of money because we did voice to text and there was wrong words and everything. So I'm reading how it's written. I remember reading Poor Richard that you said most of human history, people worked until they died. Also, we have genetic desire to work. It's interesting because when I was watching PBS's Econs about our Homo evolution, a statement came up about, i.e., the Neanderthalnesis did. They live among us. No, because without science, we would have no clue about it as we didn't until the 1800s. Similarly, children have no incentive to work or no concept of working as children unless they are in illegal child labor camps at communes, Amish towns, etc. This is tricky since humans are the only animals on Earth to have a childhood due to less social pressures. Since it's been literally man-made and animals don't, why are we not compelled to buy until adulthood? When I was young, I had no concept and drive or genetic predisposition to go work as I do now. All right, so in that vomit, I think your question is, why don't kids have a work ethic? All right, well, I will explain it in a couple of things. All right, one, because we don't train kids to have a work ethic. This is the classic nature versus nurture. It is in every human's genetic nature to be as lazy as possible, right? And the reason why is because you didn't want to expend tons of calories of energy because food was scarce back in the day. Now, things have changed, but the vast majority of the human experience that has gone to program your hardwiring is, don't expend energy unless you have to. All right, save the energy. All right, so without any kind of conditioning, without a compunction, without necessity, without a environment, nature versus nurture, without nurturing, meaning the environment, to give you a reason to go work, you're not going to. All right. But if we go back in the days, in the before time, obviously in the, what would have that been? Late 1800s, where the kids were working in the coal mines, where you did have child labor. That's all over the world, historically speaking. Kids had to go work. Why? Because mom and dad had more kids than they could afford. That's the answer. Why do kids have to work? Why are we poor? Because your parents shouldn't have had you. That's the honest to God answer. And you could take that to the bank. So yeah, there was a reason like, hey, if you don't work, little junior, we're going to starve. We're going to be homeless. Go work now. Now, in the not so long ago before time, more when I was a kid, Gen X boomer types, you would, as a kid, you go work, even before child labor laws, like, what would you do? Okay, well, I collected cans and I shoveled driveways and sidewalks. Rake yards for those of you that have leaves. Those of you in desert climates, I guess, I don't know, you fought scorpions, whatever it is that you did where there weren't any leaves to rake. You wash cars, or you babysit, or you do something. And even in my time, you could go work for someone. I mean, you could be like a busboy or a dishwasher. I remember I was a manure shoveler over at a big greenhouse house plant. So you could work, but yeah, it was crappy jobs. Or in my case, I would go and collect cans. Now, how that came about in my particular situation, which I don't think is representative, is I hated being poor. I hated not being able to have the things I didn't want. Not that I was a big materialist, but it's like all these kids at schools would, Christmas time, they come back with pretty cool toys and like pretty cool video games. Like, oh, we don't have any money. Why don't we have any money? Because you had kids that you shouldn't have had, and the Lord did not provide. That's why we're poor. And so I had, simply because I was greedy, I didn't want to share with my brother or sister or cousins or anything like that. No, mine. I don't know. You don't know. You can share. Oh, I hate it. You can share, which is like parents like, oh, we can spend less money. We can spend less money. We can spend less money. Like, oh, look, oh, so little money spent on our kids. Oh, yeah, man. Ooh. But we could afford beer. I knew that, boy. We could afford beer. Anyway, so I just like being able to like, wow, I could buy my candy if I want. I could buy a fishing pole if I wanted or whatever. And then, so that's where kind of my very early work ethic. I just hated being poor and not having what I wanted. Other places, it's more like, the dwindling percentages of real fathers that exist. Like, hey, you ought to invest, or not invest. You ought to go get a job. There's usually somebody pushing you into like going work at fast food. Probably your dad. Oh, hey, you got to go babysit. You're not, no. Summertime, you're getting a job. You're 12. Yeah, you're going to go get some kind of job. Hey, go. Chores kind of started it. Like, hey, you want, oh, would you like some money? Yeah, I'm not buying you nothing. You want that? You're going to have to work. So you have to do dishes and house chores and everything like that. So there'd be something like that, like an allowance. Yeah, but that's, so, yeah, no kid, I don't think base level, no kid, unless you were weird, had a genetic desire or a natural urge to go work. I think it was out of the environment and necessity, or just maybe entrepreneurial desire you want to do that. Now, there are a couple more questions. Since there are no more bubbles or ways to get rich anymore, what is your end goal as many diversify with crypto, metals, land, etc.? Since it really doesn't pay to work anymore long term and most don't have the security while others do, what are we aiming for with no mobility in our country's economy? All right, my goal in life is to be a minimalist, to live it so that I spend the least amount of time working and the most amount of my time, highest percentage of my life possible doing what I want to do. I want to live as free of a man as I possibly can. People say, well, why do you work so much? So I could save up my money so that I can live and not, I'm free. That, where I could actually retire. Now, of course, I'll never retire. I do kind of enjoy doing this, and a man needs point, purpose, and agent. But I wanted, and if I had done it better, I would have gotten out of banking way sooner than I did. But that is my goal. So I use money as a means to extend my life as long as possible, support myself during that life, and to have a need for it as little as possible. So that I might, be free in my life. And I do afford the occasional nice thing. All right. I do have my hot tub. I bought a $100 LCD projector that doesn't work during the daytime, apparently. So I can play video games on a wall. But aside from those sparingly few nice items, really don't spend. Why? Because I value my freedom. I value hiking. I value motorcycle riding. I value doing whatever I want, having coffee all day. So, but with my investment portfolio, I diversify to limit risk. And more recently, my investment strategy, I can't even call it investing. I really just think the vast majority of people are just hedging against inflation. You're insuring yourself against inflation. So my diversified portfolio is property. Obviously, I own my home. I have some crypto, not a ton, but enough. I have some precious metals. And then my retirement plan. Oh, Cappy, your retirement. Oh, funny guys. Like, yeah, it's an IRA. So I get my, it's a non-Roth IRA. So I get my tax deduction now because I just don't trust the communists. But that's diversified into the S&P 500. Right there. I'm not recommending that to anybody. I mean, that's just what I do. But yeah, it's to diversify so that as money printer go burr, starting with George Bush Jr. all the way up to Joey B and the money printers. I'd like what I was going to do. If I was stuck in banking again, and I had time. I was stuck at an office job where I'm not doing anything. I may have gone back and taken a look at how much more money what was the increase in the money supply, say M2 money supply. And I would back that out of the rates of return on property and the S&P 500 to see, okay, have there actually been real gains? Has there actually been real rates of return? Or has it all been inflation? Investing indicates like, well, you buy it at a real price on the low, and then its real price goes up. And the only thing I've ever managed to figure out empirically working in the real world, the only reason the stock market goes up, because it shouldn't. In theory, the stock market should not go up adjusted for inflation. We should all figure out, looking into our crystal ball and figure out, it just, here's what it is. This is what it is because we calculated all the future cash flows. Why does it always go up? Then you factor in that the economy would grow and that the profits of this company would grow. It's like, it's inflation. We just keep running off more money. See what happened to the value of my house? The value of your house did absolutely nothing because the second you sell it, you're going to take all that money and go buy into an equally inflated market or pay equally inflated rent. Why are you just destroying your dreams, man? Like I'm a boomer. I want to just collect on a reverse mortgage, man. So there. What's your thought on the Fed tracking how much money deposit, withdraw in cash? I don't think. I mean, you could track it with computers on what are you going to do? Enforce it? I'd love to see the compliance costs. This everyone's worried about. Oh, banks have to report $600 transactions in cash from here on out. I'm like that the compliance cost on that is just going to be impossible. The Democrats, go ahead. You want to ban cars? You want to go green? How's that working for you Europeans ignoring reality and compliance costs? Okay, we're just gonna make it so we're all organic now. Why does Lebanon not have any fuel? So that's my thought. I'm like, okay, have $600 really? What about the poor waiter or waitress? I mean, seriously, do you? I know you poor people just think the Democrats love you and because free money, and then they do this to you. The rich people are not. Jeff Bezos is not walking to the bank with his $605. Ooh, I'm gonna save $100 in taxes, donating cash in the bank. Ooh, no, that's gonna disproportionately affect poor and working poor. Especially those. Look, have the Democrats not destroyed the service industry enough for you with the root beer floats and mandates and everything? Have they not absolutely destroyed? And now they're going to make you get tips. I think we as Americans have always kind of like not only turned a blind eye, but tacitly approve. Hey, they're waiters and waitress and bartending staff. They're just, of course. They're just getting out of college. You just kind of get the, come on, just let them have the cash. Okay. They're working. All right. I'm working here. Let them keep the cash. All right. So instead of a 14% tax rate, they pay 10. Just let them, come on. Nope. But you guys all voted for Joe because free money. The 1%. It's the 1%. We're going to get them. So, congratulations. You guys elected a trust fund baby who never worked a day in his life. He certainly did not collect cans when he was a kid. Look him up. And okay. They're so far removed from working in the real world. They're going to make people who do have to work in the real world, the working poor, they're going to make it so much harder for you because these Democrats are trust fund Democrats. These are not the Democrats of the 80s where they were union workers working who wanted jobs. I mean, go back. I know this may shock you. I know you youngins out there. Sit down, everybody, about to floor you. You go back no more than 40 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago. You know what the Democrats were for? They were the working party. They actually wanted jobs. Now they don't want to work. They just want free gimme-dats. All right. You also mentioned before that the novelty of things wear off over time and you become bored or jaded. I don't know if it becomes jaded with the repetition of daily life and things. Have you found a solution on how to avoid this? This is not really a problem for me, just an interesting idea. Yeah, you keep finding new hobbies. Okay. Marriage and kids are off the menu. All right. I've personally taken them off the menu. I had the vasectomy, not getting married. Okay. Not saying I'm not interested in girls or anything like that, but that's gone. That would normally consume your time. Oh, by the way, go read my latest post over on Captain Capitalism. First real post I wrote in a while. The Economics of Men Going Galt, essentially, is the subtitle, but you can look at that there. But without like a real point, purpose, and reason in life, you have to figure out what to do outside of the girls. And that menu is everything on the planet. Travel, PhD, like you actually go to college for the college experience and enjoy it, but I'm not paying those prices. I don't even know why go get a PhD in economics. It'd be like, I'm already more successful than most economists out there, not monetarily, but in terms of like what I'm actually doing for economics. Have you seen the papers economists write? It's like wholly inapplicable to anything practical in the world, Batman. I'm going to do power paragliding. I'm going to do some kayaking. Just whatever it is you want to do. Some people, it's a little bit less adventuresome and more just kind of chill. I just want to play video games and chill out. Like Beckloff. I mean, Beckloff and I think we have the complete opposite hobby interests because he hates climbing mountains. Just ask him. But I totally respect, I even envy him. Like he could just sit there and nerd out on his Nintendo stuff and his Nintendo collection things and memorabilia and comic books, and you could just be a real geek. And I'm like, man, I gotta get outside. I would just love to sit and read a comic book. He could do it on a beautiful sunny day with no guilt. I'm like, anything and everything. Lastly, how do you see good people avoiding be taken advantage of via society? Good people need to get street smart. How do I see them avoiding it? It's going to be once, twice, thrice bitten, maybe finally shy. Good people will continue to get screwed over by the increasing percentage of people that are vile, evil, unethical, unprincipled. They'll say, why am I doing this? And they'll say, screw it. And then they'll Walter White up, and then they'll become the badass. Was it Walter White? No. Not Walter White. Who was Breaking Bad guy? Whatever. You'll go through this transformation, and then you won't, and it's not that you won't be a good person, you'll barely be good. You'll be like an anti-hero. There'll be like one or two, like really basic and core principles and ethics. You'll have like, don't hurt kids. Don't hurt old people. And F everybody else. I'm not kidding. I'm not like, don't hurt kids. Don't hurt old people. Or like crippled or, the mentally impaired, screw everybody else. I mean, it really is like Nicholas Wolfwood. I think the only thing he cared about was the children. That was about it. And he'd shoot everybody else if he had to. So just living in the solution, how good people will avoid being taken advantage of is they'll just live life and be taken advantage of until they say, nope, not anymore. And they're like, nope, I'm done. And then they'll get up in people's faces. And you'd be amazed what will happen. I won't go through the example, but recently I was in a group of people and I found out the guy who was leading the group of people wasn't necessarily wrong or evil or anything, but in this presentation, I went there for specific training. Then all of a sudden they were cross-selling something that had nothing to do with the training. And most people in there are sheep. Oh, and I realized he's selling something. So I raised my hand. I said, is this required? Do I have to buy this in order for me to get what I came here to get training in? No. And I literally said, so this is just a 30-minute sales pitch. We're wasting everyone's time. And I'm like, don't mess with me, man. Don't mess with me. Don't waste my time. I am pushing back. So most guys and most gals would, if they're not going to be taken advantage of, they'll just like be quiet, and then they'll do a Yelp review or something like that that's negative. Me, no. I get in your face now. I get in your effing face, because I'm not letting these people walk away without a scathing. And you should have seen. Well, it's still a good thing to have. You're kind of like, yeah, okay. Can we go now? Oh, we're done. So there you go. There's the answers to your questions. All right, let's see if there are any super chats here. Holy cow, $20. 7-Step Survival, new guy, $5. Because they are raised by single moms, all questions answered. You know what? I hate to say it, 7-Step Survival. You're not totally wrong. As we go further and further down the timeline here, as more and more kids are raised in homes where it's just broken, but certainly single mothers, where it's the government taking care of them. They don't know anything else. But well, you're good. Where do you get food? The 7-Eleven. Oh, where does milk come from? I don't know, the grocery store. They're just used to government money, and really go look at the underclasses. Girls will get kids. Why? Because then you get a check. Oh, that's the limit to their knowledge about the real world. So that certainly prevents young kids from getting a job. 7-Step Survival again, $5. This $5 is a down payment for Cappy to do a Dakota Steakhouse outside Rapid City and get a dry aged buffalo ribeye. Trust me, I went there before. I'm not that impressed. I was really not. Maybe I have to get the buffalo, but I went to the Dakota Steakhouse. Just so you guys know, there's only like a handful of steakhouse houses, and the Dakota Steakhouse is like the only real fancy one, if you can even call it fancy. And I went there. I'm like, nah, this ain't no Mancini's. So, all right, maybe I'll get the dry aged buffalo ribeye. I don't know. It's pretty far north. Although I pretty much go to Rapid City every day, I guess. Nonstop Dre, $5. Would you consider smart people lazier than dumb people, realizing that doing hard stuff like trades, military, STEM, now that you have comfort later, or no? No, I don't. I have a. Let me reread this to make sure I answered in the context you presented. Would you consider smart people lazier than dumb people, doing hard stuff like trade, military, STEM, now to have comfort later, or no? No, see, I I disagree with the premise. Because smart people would go into the trades, military, STEM, etc., because over time you're expending less calories of energy earning the money. And it's in where is it? How Not to Become a Millennial. Again, I've cited it 1,000th time now. My Vietnamese buddy who's electrical engineer, and then the single mom, epitomal, cat lady who majored early childhood education, who's not my friend. She has worked way harder over the course of her life than my Vietnamese buddy did, even though my Vietnamese buddy, when he went to school, he worked obviously harder than she did. But I would say everyone is equally lazy. It's whether you're smart enough to realize the adage that Atham's dad always said, lazy people work twice as hard. So I think smart people work hard because they know that if they put in the time and effort now early on, especially if you squirrel away your money and invest it in the exponential growth rate, blah, 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 power of compounding, you're going to, over the course of your life, expend fewer hours working. Years, you could save decades even if you play it right. So smart people are just as lazy, but they're smart enough to know, all right, we're going to double time it while we're young. We got the energy. Or the tradesmen who, okay, we're going to go out to the Bakken oil field and do 4 weeks on and 2 weeks off. Or over the Aussies with their fortnights. We're going to do forthwith 3.2 didgeridoo with the hooberly wooblies and the wobbly bobblies with our fortnight was 2/4, 5/5 fourths, Bisbee, Melbourne, Perthbin, 2 fortnights and on to 1 fortnight off with the doogly danglies. Shucks howdy. That math. They know, okay, I'm gonna go put my time out in the bush or out in the Bakken and make all my 100,000 and then bank it and save it, pay off the house and be done with it. And then you coast kind of the rest of your life. but it's whether you're smart enough to realize that math. And if you're dumb, maybe you are smart, but if you're dumb either because you're actually stupid, like your IQ is low, or you were brought up in a family that doesn't tell you and don't inform you, so you think, oh, I get pregnant and I get money. All right, well, you're damned to hell. I mean, you don't even have to die to go to hell. You're living it now. Congratulations. So I would, smarter people would work harder than dumb people, but that's not perfect. I know dumb people, they work hard. They're like, okay, I'll work hard, make good money. And not even that dumb. I mean, they get like do base, like $50 an hour. Yeah, I'll go bang out the time. What, 75 for time and a half? Hell yeah. Hey, the Latino from Reno. $1.49 super sticker. Probably Mexican poops. I don't know. 7-Step Survival, $2. Intersection 385 and Merritt Estates. Sugar. Oh yeah, I've been to. Hey. What, you think I just moved here? I know the Sugar Shack. It snowed over. You can't even get into the hills right now. They got a ton of snow. I know it all. The Silver Dollar Saloon used to be my favorite restaurant in the Black Hills. Now they got some new owner and management, and their burgers have gone to crap. I always enjoy stopping at the Silver. It's on the south side of Hill City. They have a nice back patio. Still a nice place, I guess, to get a beer. But I'd go hike Harney's Peak. I'd come down like Silver City or Silver Dollar Saloon. Eat, and it was just nice burger. Good tater tots too. Nope, not anymore. Burgers are a quarter as thin as they were beforehand. It just, nope, just absolute crap. But that's happened to all the restaurants out here. There was another one over on the north side, the Elk Creek Steakhouse. I'd go there. That was kind of a low rent, but still pretty good food. That's gone to pot. I have not gone all the way to Sturgis. I've been to Sturgis, obviously, but I haven't tried the Loud American Roadhouse with their steak tips. I did go to Knuckles Saloon. They said, oh yeah, get their steak tip. Oh yeah, amazing steak tips. I'm like, okay, y'all got to stop sounding like it's amazing, the best Chinese food ever. It's like, no, Mom, it's just a hole-in-wall Chinese place. This is not the best Chinese ever. So I haven't gone there. I'm not joking. You're best off going to Subway or Jimmy John's or Paulie's. Do you know where Paulie's is? That's over on the east side off Robert or St. Patrick. No, it's St. Patrick. So that one's just by Highway 78. Look at us talking Black Hill talk with Cappy and the guy. Nimble Fred, $20. Finally made it out to Moab. Hey, there you go, Fred. After years of saying maybe next year, realize life is short after my brother passed this summer. There you go, Fred. Hey, Fred. I don't know if you you have to go to Canyonlands National Park, but if you could see it where the Colorado and the Green River confluence, they meet, that right there. That's where I'm going to be kayaking down all the way from Rock Springs down there, all the way to the Hoover Dam. I'm glad you're there. I know if you're going to go to Zion, make sure you go to Alvaro's. That is the best Mexican in the world. It's better Mexican than what they got in Mexico. Kind of like our good friend Atham. Who's the best Mexican? Atham, and he's not even in Mexico. See, I said a nice thing about my good homosexual Mexican buddy. Good. That's nice to hear, Fred. I'm glad you're out there. Hey, speaking of Latinos, Alex Patino, our Latino truck driving agent in the field, $5. People forget that there are a lot of rich people that claim to be Dems and Republicans. At the end of the day, it's all about profits, China manufacturing. Right. There's a lot of there's a lot of Democrats, especially in large liberal towns, major metros, who, oh yeah, I'm Democrat. I donate to the Democrat Party. Trump was one of them. If you want to get anything done in New York City, you have to bribe Democrat politicians. It's the same thing. If you want to have you want to have your factory there, you want to have it, you got to grease the palms of Democrat politicians. Yeah, I'm Democrat. That's why I want to make so much money. What the Democrat Party claimed to be 50 years ago and what it is now, it's the biggest hypocrisy. You guys should just be disgusted with the Democrat Party. You want to talk about I wonder who big tech supports. I wonder what big corporations support now. How woke can we all be? Oh my God, we so care about the womans and minorities. See, look, we down with the cause, y'all. Give us money. Look, Star Wars is feminist. Give us money. We're so Democrat. Jeremiah Decree, $2. Disfruta del declive. Enjoy the decline? Is that what it is? Enjoy the fruits of the decline? Make sure I got everything. See, with the $20 that Fred gave me, now I could go off to the Dakota Steakhouse and subsidize the purchase. Buffalo is expensive. Buffalo is like 3 times the price of beef. Well, maybe not 3, but definitely twice. It's very expensive. But I will do it. I will trust you on that. Scrolling. 7-step survival. $5 again. Haven't been there for 4 years. Sickening to hear the socialism took over Sugar Shack. Go to Golden Phoenix in Rapid City. My friend's family owns it. Wait a minute. Is that the faux place? Golden Phoenix. Let me type that up. Golden Phoenix. 2421 Maine. Oh, where's it? Oh, yeah, I've been there. Yeah. That's across the street from the Shooters. Yep. I have been there. Me and DT went there one time and got that. I don't know if they're open. My friend's family owns it. Good. All right, there you go. Questions, answers, AstroConsulting.com. I'll see you guys later, Toodles.